I think a lot of us broke and starting YouTubers face a very hard time picking up the right gear for our channels. I don't know about you, but personally when I start looking for a product, I go all out, like I start a search war looking into every detail in that specific niche of products because I simply want to get the best possible product for my money. However, I never had as much trouble choosing between an item as I had when I decided to buy a monitor this year. I used to own a 32-inch 1080p Samsung TV for the past 5 years, which I used the hell out of it, and in August of 2020 I had to move from Tunisia to Budapest for studying purposes, and the issue is that I didn't own a laptop. I basically had a setup that I used for everything, and practically speaking it's impossible to bring that whole setup to Budapest, so I had to simply leave it here and build a whole new setup there in Budapest. And you might ask, why didn't you just buy a laptop? And it's a fair question to ask, and the answer to that is that I honestly way prefer the desktop experience than the laptop experience. So I had to really dig in deep and pick the best possible components for my PC, and especially the monitor, guys. I couldn't cheap out. The monitor, in my opinion, is the second most important part of the whole setup. I'm a computer science student, I work at a tech company, and I create videos both for my YouTube channel and for clients professionally, so a monitor for me is something that I'm gonna spend hours in front of, so I really want to invest in something really good. So after I bought the workstation, the desk, the chair and some peripherals, I was left with only 200 euros for the monitor. After conversion it's around 240 bucks, and I needed the monitor to be at least 1440p, have an IPS panel, be factory calibrated and have a modern industrial looking design because I really hate gaming aesthetics. And if you're familiar with monitor prices, you can tell that getting all of these things in one package is not easy. And it's way out of my budget. Like getting a 1440p IPS panel, factory calibrated and like modern design and stuff, it would cost at least 400, like if you're lucky 350 bucks in a discount or something. And after a very long search trip in both the used and new market, I came across this beauty, the DELL U2518D. This monitor got released back in 2018 and it was sold for 400 bucks brand new. But Ahmed, weren't you saying that you only had 240 bucks? And you're correct, I got this monitor for even cheaper than that. I got it for 180 euros, which is equivalent to 200 bucks in basically brand new conditions with 2 years of warranty left. And that's insane. And at first I was really surprised. I thought that I got lucky or something because the price wasn't fair. Like it is sold for 400 bucks brand new, so why am I getting it for 200 bucks? And this is happening because this monitor is almost 3 years old now, so it is fairly normal for it to drop to this price range. Now let's break down why I would recommend this monitor over a brand new one in this price range. The U2518D offers a 25-inch 1440p crystal clear IPS display, and trust me when I say it is super sharp. Typically 1440p is recommended for 27-inch monitors, so being 2 inches smaller than that means that it packs even a higher pixel density of 117.5 pixels per inch and takes less real estate overall on your desk. Being a member of the Ultra Sharp lineup means that this is the best Dell has to offer in terms of both design and build quality. This monitor is so modern looking and I just love it, guys, and I'm pretty sure it would fit in any space you will put it in. On my desk, for example, it adds a spice of modernity to the vintage nature of my desk, giving such a unique look to my setup. Everything from the extremely small and uniformly sized bezels all around the screen to the grey metallic looking stand and body look amazing. And I wouldn't mind having it on my desk for years to come. It is way better than I expected it to be, honestly. It is so small so it won't take that much valuable space from your desk. It also has full ergonomic adjustments, so you can put it in whatever position that is comfortable to your eyes. You can move it up or down, you can tilt it, you can pivot it, you can basically do whatever you want with it. Let's speak of what matters the most to me, image quality and color accuracy. There is nothing to add about image quality. 117 ppi speaks for itself. You simply can't distinguish between individual pixels. It is like insanely sharp. And since it is an IPS panel, color vibrancy and viewing angles are on point. Besides that, it has a peak brightness of 350 nits, which makes it visible even in bright environments. And speaking of bright environments, it also has a matte coating which reduces glare. Colors look amazing and are very accurate. This is because the U2518D comes with an impressive factory calibration report that allows it to have a 99% coverage of the sRGB color space to an accuracy of delta E less than 2. I know that this sounds fancy and too complicated, but simply speaking, delta E is a measurement between the distance of two colors. The human eye can perceive a delta E of 1, so having a delta E of 2 is in itself very impressive, so you can't really distinguish any shift in colors in this monitor. I don't really have the tools to confirm the correctness of these claims from Dell, but I found a review from PCmonitors.info that did a fantastic job covering very in-depth this monitor, so I will leave the link to this review down in the description down below if you're interested in their tests. And spoiler alert, everything Dell has in this report is fully correct. And all of this means that you can trust the U2518D to deliver the most accurate representation of your projects and media. Finally, let's talk about I/O options. And starting with USB-C, it doesn't have one, so I know it's a deal breaker for a lot of you. Personally, I don't really care about USB-C yet, so if you're still interested in this panel and you like what you're seeing, you can check the U2520D, which is the newer version. It's a little bit pricier, but it's basically the same panel, almost the same panel. In some attributes, the U2518D is better, but the newer version has a better I/O, a better stand, and is a little bit lighter, so you can check that one if you're interested. And back to the U2518D, taking a look at the back of the monitor reveals down-firing ports, which include AC power input, HDMI 2.0, DisplayPort 1.2, mini DisplayPort 1.2, DisplayPort 1.2 out for daisy chaining, 3.5mm audio out, USB 3.0 upstream, and 2 further USB 3.0 ports. However, as usual, there is no perfect product. There is always some downsides to a product. Starting with the contrast, it has a 1000:1 contrast ratio, so it's not an OLED panel, guys. You won't have those perfect blacks, so it's an IPS panel. I don't consider this as a downside because they don't claim they have perfect blacks, but just saying, it doesn't have those perfect deep blacks of an OLED panel. Also, I saw some users on the Dell forums and the Amazon comment section claim that they have some bleeding and IPS glow issues. Maybe there is some bad units, I don't know, mine were all fine. By the way, I own 3 of these now. I have mine in Tunisia, which is right behind me, and I have 2 in Budapest, and all of them are perfectly fine. So what I would recommend is that you need to check the monitor yourself before buying. And I know in most cases this won't happen because you'll probably buy it from eBay or something. So what I would recommend is that you ask politely the owner of the monitor to send you some videos, some photos of the monitor working in various angles so that you can tell that it has no bleeding and no IPS glow issues. And this is what I did with the guy whom I got the second 2 monitors, because he was living in the borders of Hungary, so I couldn't go there myself. So what I did is just ask him politely for some videos and some photos, and he was more than happy to do that. In addition to that, he was kind enough to give me a DELL monitor stand and free shipping, and all of that for just 400 bucks. So for the price of a brand new one, I got 2 of them in perfect condition, working perfectly fine, no issues whatsoever. Back to the negatives, HDR. Dell claims that this is an HDR capable, and it is, but 350 nits aren't enough. Also, HDR with Windows is such a trash experience, colors become dull and there is no contrast, no vibrancy whatsoever, so stay away from this monitor if you're considering creating HDR content. And the final negative is gaming. Guys, this is a professional monitor, it isn't meant for gaming, so it has a 60Hz panel, average input lag, average response time, so it isn't bad for 1440p AAA gaming experience. For casual gaming it would be more than enough, but if you're serious about playing esports titles and stuff, this is not for you. You can get the U2520D if you're more serious about gaming. It has a better response time and input lag, but it's on the pricier side because brand new it costs 400 bucks, and in the used market, because it's a newer model, it's from 2020, you won't find it for less than 300, maybe if you're lucky 280. So yeah, if you find a $280, $300 one, you can get the U2520D, but in some attributes, guys, by the way, the U2518D is a little bit better. So it's almost identical between the two, but there's still some differences. So what I would recommend is reading the article that I will leave the link to in the description down below. It has a quick comparison between the two and some in-depth tests, so read it before and decide for yourself. To conclude guys, I would recommend the U2518D for basically anyone. It is honestly a steal for the price, especially if you find it for around 200 to 220, but even if you find it for around 250 to 280, I would still recommend it. Brand new monitors in this price range aren't simply on the same level, like they don't offer the same professional specs that the U2518D offers. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. It would help the channel tremendously. Have a great day, stay safe. See ya.